Final score here on BBC Two for today, and that's a result.
Half. Let's get the full classified results.
Reading 2, Bournemouth 0, Drogba 0.
West Ham United 0.
Trying to avoid relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters.
The latest score is Wimbledon through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember. Mongols 2.
Crucial week.
Manchester United 4. Blackburn 2.
Hello and welcome to BBC Two viewers here on Final Score. If you've been with us throughout the afternoon on the BBC HD channel, then you'll know that Mark Bright and Robbie Savage have been causing me problems right from the word go. We're here with you right the way through until 5:30 to bring you all the results, the reaction and even some championship goals as well. 6 Premier League games today. We've had one result. It came at the Reebok, where Ivan Klasnic stuck 4 minutes from time to earn Bolton a precious win over fellow strugglers QPR. The visitors denied a first-half goal when the match officials failed to spot Clint Hill's effort had crossed the line. In the 3 o'clock games, goalless between Villa and Fulham, Didier Drogba has just put Chelsea 1-0 up against Stoke. Ricardo Fuller sent off with the visitors for stamping on Branislav Ivanovic. Nicholas Bentner's second-half tap-in means Liverpool are heading for a third straight Premier League defeat. That hasn't happened since 2003. And how significant will this game be at Molineux? Wolves 0, Blackburn 2. Junior Hoylett has scored both, but don't forget Blackburn haven't kept a clean sheet this season, so there's still a lot to play for. Shortly we'll go around all the grounds and get all the details for you, but
Incensed.
Ipswich have pulled one back at Hull through the former Sunderland midfielder Grant Ledbetter. Bristol Rovers are 2-0 up on Torquay through Chris Zabrowski. Lewis Grabban, that's his 13th of the season in the league. From the penalty spot, Rotherham a goal up on Plymouth. Stevenage got one back against Chesterfield. Ipswich have actually equalised. Grant Ledbetter's second in 3 minutes. Hull 2, Ipswich 2. And Gillingham, who had been 3-1 down at home to Crewe in League 2, now back on level terms through Ashley Miller. To Molineux, first of all, in the 3 o'clock games in the Premier League, Ivan Gaskell, Blackburn on top.
Certainly, and you rather sense that Wolves' season feels like it's disintegrating before our very eyes here. Dissent in the crowd, dissatisfaction on the pitch. Blackburn 2 up and deserving it too. Junior Hoylett with both goals, one in each half. The first a half-hit volley which found its way past Hennessy. The second a really crisp left foot shot, but both goals examples of poor closing down, poor marking and disorganisation in the heart of the Wolves defence. Wolves have conceded 14 goals now in 4 games since winning at Queen's Park Rangers. One wonders about that dismissal of Mick McCarthy. An experienced hand on the tiller at least. Terry Connor does look rather like a rabbit caught in the headlights right now. Doesn't quite have the answers, and Wolves, you sense, have the writing on the wall right now. It's 2-0 Blackburn.
9 for Lee Mansell for the season. Torquay pulled one back against Bristol Rovers. Oxford United have got one back at Bradford in League 2 as well. It's gone through on the video printer, but Jack Midson's 16th league goal of the season means Wimbledon are a goal up on bottom side Dagenham and Redbridge. Stevenage have equalised in their game. 2 quick goals for them. Let's go to Stamford Bridge, where it's taken Chelsea a while to knock down 10-man Stoke, but they've succeeded. Jonathan Ledyard.
And it's down to Didier Drogba. His 100th Premier League goal for Chelsea has done the damage and has given some sort of breathing space to this big crowd here. 40,000 at Stamford Bridge cheering Roberto Di Matteo just a few minutes ago as a header goes in, and Stoke are still looking and closing for an equaliser, and they played with commendable spirit, typical by a man managed or a side managed by Tony Pulis, who's really been a jack-in-a-box in the technical area, urging his side on after they lost Ricardo Fuller after half an hour for stamping completely uncalled for, I suppose anyway, on Ivanovic, who'd gone close earlier on. But Chelsea have cranked things up, and a lot of the credit should be due to Juan Mata, who was brought on after 37 minutes, sent on by Roberto Di Matteo for Morelos, who'd been largely ineffective. But Mata's running, his insight, his perceptive passing has clearly lifted Chelsea. They've got the reward. It was his pass which freed Drogba to score. Now they need to make safe, but Stoke are still not lying down. They've used their 3 substitutes, but still coming forward.
Wilfried Zaha has been sent off for Crystal Palace at Burnley. It's 1-1 there at the moment. We'll go to Upton Park shortly to get details of Doncaster's equaliser against West Ham. Damon Gray's 9th of the season means Berwick are back on level terms with Montrose in Scottish Division 3. We'll get details of Brighton's opening goal against Portsmouth as well shortly, but let's stay in the Premier League with our reports. Steve Sutter at the Stadium of Light, where Sunderland are a goal up on Liverpool.
Yes, we had to wait to just before the hour for that goal to come as well, and a little bit of a comedy of errors. Fraser Campbell took the ball on just outside the Liverpool box. He stepped inside Martin Skirtle, let fly with a shot. Pepe Reina diving full stretch to his right. He didn't get contact on the ball. It hit the post, it rebounded out, hit Reina on the back of the head, and Nicholas Bentner was first to react to prod home the rebound. That's been typical of the game, really. Plenty of hard work, plenty of toil, no real spark from Liverpool. They brought on Andy Carroll and Steven Gerrard. Perhaps that'll make a difference, but at the moment, Sunderland 1, Liverpool 0.
Carlisle undefeated in 13 home games in League One. They've taken the lead against Bury 12 minutes from time through Jordan Cook. And Reading are now 2-0 up on Leicester. A 30-yard thunderbolt that's probably bobbled off his knee from Jason Roberts. Any comment, Robbie?
Found his level, Rob, on that league.
Back to the Premier League. Andrew James at Villa Park.
Still 0-0 here, Mark, and difficult to see where a goal's going to come from, really. Villa, by the way, you know, if they don't win today, it will be 8 in the league at home without a win, and that's a sequence that goes back over 90 years to 1921 when Lloyd George was Prime Minister. That's how bad it's been. They've had half a chance. Old Brighton hit the post in the second half. Damien Duff hit the outside of the post with Givenwell beaten for Fulham, but at the moment Fulham can seem content to hang on for perhaps the point or winning it on the break. It's Villa's to try and win, of course. Big boos when Nzogvia was taken off and replaced by Vyman. A few chances if you don't know what you're doing, but at the moment Villa struggling to find a way through. Villa 0, Fulham 0.
Stenhousemuir have lost 4 of their last 5 in Scottish League Division 2. They aren't going to lose today, are they? They're now 4-0 up on Stirling. Southend have turned it round as well against Accrington Stanley. Former Torquay striker Elliot Benyon has put them ahead 14 minutes from time at Roots Hall. As far as the Premier League games are concerned, Robbie, just focus on Blackburn, who are 2-0 up at Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves have been absolutely atrocious. It looks like they've got no leader off the field or on the field today. You know, Roger Johnson, the captain, is not playing today from disciplinary reasons. You know, and Blackburn have absolutely battered them, no question. You know, Junior Hoyle's been sensational, the best player on the pitch by miles, but Wolves look like they haven't got a leader on or off the field.
As things stand, Wolves will be next to bottom this evening. Mark Bright, let's just touch on Chelsea against Stoke. Chelsea have had the majority of chances in that game, which isn't surprising considering Stoke are down to 10 men. A clearer red card you won't see this season.
Frightening. We both just jumped up and shouted, oh, I mean... Ricardo,
well, we all actually crossed our legs, didn't we, first of all?
Ivanovic came in with a slide tackle on Ricardo Fuller. Fuller obviously wasn't happy with it and turned around and lifted his leg and stamped on Ivanovic where it hurts. Straight red card, and then they're up against it, Stoke, but they battled well. You know, you have to say that, that Chelsea have thrown everything at them, made the substitutions. Mata came on after 37 minutes as a tactical switch, and it was a fantastic goal. Mata, a great through ball. Drogba, a little round Begovic and scored. So, you know, they're just hanging on, because Stoke are still going at them.
Top against bottom in Scottish Division 3. Top easily winning now. Alloa 5, East Stirling 1, and Queen of the South, who are without a win in 6 in Scottish League Division 1, are a goal up on Wraith. 8 minutes to go there. Gavin Riley got the goal. Let's find out about Doncaster's equaliser at Upton Park. Mark Webber.
West Ham United 1, Doncaster Rovers 1. Well, West Ham looked wobbly at the hands of other relegation candidates before, and Doncaster seemed to be adding their name to that illustrious list. West Ham had the ball in the net in the first few seconds. It was disallowed. Kevin Nolan scored, and it looked like a potential drubbing was on the way, but led by the enigmatic El Hadj Diouf, floating in difficult corners, Doncaster have slowly got their stride back in the game. James Coppinger joining in, scoring the equaliser, pretty similar to Nolan's effort, to be fair. He's also pushed Rob Green to make a number of saves. At the moment, Doncaster nailing down the back door. The Hammers trying to hammer it open. West Ham 1, Doncaster Rovers 1.
Talking about getting their stride back, Ipswich have done just that in the second half at Hull. Alan Biggs.
Yes, there were 2 goals down. It's 2-2 now. Robert Brady with a deflected strike. Robert Coran with the second, an educated left foot, giving Hull an opportunity to win at a canter. But Ipswich have been the better team in this second half and have struck twice in 3 minutes through the same player. Grant Ledbetter from a penalty after dangerous play was given against Hull defender McLean. He's actually a striker on a sub. He was defending in his area, tried to clear with an overhead kick. Referee ruled dangerous play. Ledbetter sank the penalty and then sank a terrific 25-yard strike for the equaliser. It's Hull 2, Ipswich 2.
Nottingham Forest have taken the lead, or have gone back to being 2 goals ahead against Millwall. Andy Reid with that goal will go to Naz Premji at the City Ground in just a moment. But first, with details of Brighton's opener against Portsmouth, Jackie Oatley.
Yes, it's come from the substitute Vicente, a player who Real Madrid once bid 36 million euros from for Valencia, and they turned it down, believe it or not. He's got 38 caps for Spain, and he showed all his quality with that free kick from just outside the penalty area, left-footed low, through the wall, into the bottom left-hand corner. It had been coming. Vogt's been replaced. He's had a few half chances, but nothing worked for him today. Barnes went close as well, but it's Brighton 1, Portsmouth 0.
Let's go back to the Stadium of Light where the stretcher is on. What's happened, Steve Sutton?
Yes, it's Nicholas Bender, the scorer of Sunderland's goal, taken off on that stretcher. What happened was he broke down the right, and Martin Skirtle came racing across, clattered him. Bentner went down. Skirtle got a yellow card. Bentner clearly troubled by his left knee. He didn't look in a huge amount of distress. Very often you see, oxygen bottles and things coming on, but he was sitting up on the stretcher. But clearly he can't walk across the pitch to get off, so he's been carried off, and Connor Wickham has come on for Sunderland. They lead 1-0.
Jabbo Ibear is 7th of the season. MK Dons are now 3-0 up on struggling Exeter in League One. And let's go to Naz Premji at Nottingham Forest Millwall for details of Andy Reid's goal.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest 3, Millwall 1. The Football League show is a must-see tonight, courtesy of Andy Reid. He's made 2 goals and he's scored one. An absolute peach, 30-yard screamer into the top corner. He was taking the plaudits of all sides here. Andy Reid has been superb this afternoon. Made 2, scored a belter. Forest cruising. Nottingham Forest 3, Millwall 1.
Wolves have just missed a sitter, Robbie Savage.
Yeah, great play from Jarvis on the left wing. He's gone past the full-back, he's cut it back. Great chance from Milas to head it in, but he's headed over the bar. Great chance, and Wolves just can't score goals.
OK, Macclesfield have brought one back against Crawley Town. Vinnie McKendy with that goal. 5 minutes left for them to maybe get themselves a point at the Moss Rose. Let's go to the Medeski though. Mark Bishop, tell us about Jason Roberts' latest thunderbolt.
Well, I will do, Mark, but I'll tell you what, it's Reading 2, Leicester City 0, and Leicester City absolutely treading water. It wasn't a thunderbolt, 34-year-old Jason Roberts. Too much savvy for Leicester. Lovely cross out on the deep right from Noel Hunt. And Roberts sweeping home a glorious effort, bottom left-hand corner to completely outfox Kasper Schmeichel. Brian McDermott's side, remember, on course for their 8th successive league win. It's been a high-octane encounter in front of nearly 22,000 at the Medeski. Michael Lagerwood's volley from the edge of the penalty area made it Reading's 100th goal, home league goal, under Brian McDermott's management. From there on in, Leicester on the ropes, Morgan and St Ledger having to clear off the line from Kanu and Lagerwood, respectively. 35-year-old Steve Howard, he came on for the start of the second half to replace an inept performance from Jermaine Beckford, but it hasn't worked for Leicester, and it's Reading in the ascendancy, and they lead by 2-0.
Dagenham and Redbridge had never scored against AFC Wimbledon. They have now. The bottom side back on level terms through Michael Spillane, 7 minutes from time. Roman Golabart had actually scored an own goal this afternoon to put Kilmarnock ahead when he miscued an overhead kick into his own net. Now he has equalised for his own side. Inverness, Caledonian Thistle 1, Kilmarnock 1. And Blackpool's record of scoring in every game in 2012 in the league continues. Steve May.
Yes, it's come here at Peterborough. It's Peterborough 2 now, Blackpool 1, and substitute Noah Dicko has just pulled one back for Blackpool with a header at the near post. I'm not quite sure whether it's going to make too much difference to the scoreline because Peterborough have been on top completely in this match. They're heading for their 900th league win. Both goals have involved Tyrone Barnett. The first was his header at the back stick, his second in 4 games for Peterborough, and his 17th overall this season. And then at the end of the first half, he squared to Paul Taylor
for the second. Matt Gilks in the Blackpool goal is making an art form of saving the ball with his legs, denying Boyd, Pilkington and Alcock with one or the other, and Matt Phillips has also headed off the line. So it's been very much all Peterborough. They lead here 2-1.
OK, next we're going to go into League One, where the leaders, Charlton, had a dreadful first half. They were 4-0 down at home to Notts County after the first 45 minutes. They got a couple back at the start of the second half. What's happened since? Tony Lockwood.
Well, they haven't added to that mark. It's Charlton 2, Notts County 4. An amazing first half performance by Keith Curle's side, racing into that lead. Really was an outstanding performance. Charlton with those 2 goals back since the restart. The story of this game, Jonathan Forte becoming the first county player to score a hat-trick against Charlton. Alan Judge had netted the opener from 20 yards out, but then Bradley Wright Phillips cut the deficit. Scott Wagstaff with their second gave them hope. It's been some match. If it stays this way, it'll be 5 wins out of 6 for Keith Curle. 7 minutes left in the Valley. Charlton 2, Notts County 4.
That's 11 for the season for Lee Miller now, and Carlisle are 3-1 up and buried. Dagenham and Redbridge weren't level for very long, were they? AFC Wimbledon 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, and Ashley Grimes, 8th of the season in the league, is 11th overall, means Rochdale bottom of League One and now level with Huddersfield. 8 minutes left at the Gal Farm. Huddersfield 2, Rochdale 2. Still waiting for a goal at Villa Park, though, Andrew James.
Yes, Villa 0, Fulham 0. Almost had a Villa goal at the Holt End a few moments ago, but of all the people you'd perhaps want a half chance to fall to, you probably wouldn't want to be your centre-back, with the greatest of respect. And Carlos Cuellar it was who dived and drove the ball wide of goal with an opportunity, a rare opportunity for Villa begging. There'd been a couple of efforts against the woodwork for each side. Old Brighton's hit the post for Villa, Duff's hit the post for Fulham, and there was a great chance for 18-goal Clint Dempsey earlier in the half for Fulham, but he's somehow managed to fail to score from 6 yards out. It's been a very a performance full of effort from Villa today, but they do look painfully bad in front of goal. Villa 0, Fulham 0 still.
Ball in the net at Stamford Bridge. It wasn't given, but I'm sensing you two are gearing up for another disagreement.
Juan Mata's had a free kick 7 or 8 yards outside the penalty area. As he's run up to strike it, the whole of the Stoke defence run out. It hits the post. I think it goes to David Luiz, who squares it, goes into the back of the net, and it's given offside. And we're both thinking, well, hold on a minute.
There's no defenders there, is there?
Nobody's making any move towards the goal. The ball's come back towards them, and I think it's a bit contentious.
So you think it could have stood?
It should have stood, yeah. I'm not too sure. It's really old fat. You remember the old Wimbledon when everybody runs out in the old days? That's what they did. I mean, I failed to see that if you're standing still in the middle of the penalty area, you're not affecting play, the ball comes out and comes square and you tap it in, should be a goal. I mean,
it's a great free kick from Mata.
Lovely.
He's been the difference between the two sides. His introduction after 37 minutes, it wasn't a bold move from Di Matteo because Stoke without the 10 men. It was the right thing to do, and he's been the best player on the pitch.
OK, to Upton Park next. If West Ham don't go up this season, it'll be their home form that's to blame, and they're not picking up maximum points today at the moment. Mark Webber.
Any suggestions on how West Ham United can deal with El Hadjouf? Send him on a postcard quickly to Upton Park, because this man has led Doncaster's charge. He's helped set up the goal, and they really don't know what to do with him. The natives are getting very restless, because this is not the first time that they've seen a relegation form team come here and get something at least, or challenge. Duford just had a shot in the box. It had to be palmed away by Green, otherwise it was West Ham United 1, Doncaster 2, and there's no sign that Doncaster and Diouf especially are letting up. If it's not going to be a late goal to them, I think Hammers will just hold on.
George Donnelly, 7th of the season, means Macclesfield have levelled against Crawley. Macclesfield 2, Crawley 2. Barnet have got a late, what could be a winner at Port Vale. Dreadful week for Port Vale into administration. They're now 2-1 down at Vale Park. With West Ham drawing, Southampton could be 3 clear by the end of the evening. Tony Husband.
And they're going to be, Mark. They've got a minute to play here against Barnsley, and for the most part they're strolling to what should be a 2-0 victory, thanks to a double from Adam Lallana. What an important player he is proving to be for Southampton in a big promotion campaign for them, no doubt. The first one set up by leading scorer Ricky Lambert before half-time, then Tadanari Lee, the Japanese striker, with a run, setting up Lallana for his second. Danny Rose did hit the post for the visitors, who are without Keith Hill on the sidelines today. The Barnsley manager unwell, so not here, and perhaps Barnsley really have lacked the belief to realise that they could have got something, because this has not been a vintage Southampton display, and yet they're going to win quite comfortably and stay top.
As you can see on the video printer, first full-time whistle in the 3 o'clock Premier League games has gone at Molineux. What a win for Blackburn, and you can see what it means to their players. Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, a significant result this in several ways. Just the story of the game briefly first before those significant pointers. Well, early on Matt Jarvis steered a Wolves chance wide of the goal from 8 yards out when the goal was screaming to be struck. Late on, Millwall headed over the crossbar when really well placed. Those were two significant misses by Wolves, but what happened in between was even more so. Basically, Blackburn dominated from start to finish. Hoylett was instrumental in it, and he scored in both halves. Both of the goals were well taken, but Wolves will ask serious questions about how they allowed them to happen. Hoylett, the star of the show, but Blackburn played as a team right to the end. Great celebrations, and the significance, well, for Wolves, the grim Premier League Reaper is hovering close by the home dressing room door after this, beaten by one of their rivals. And for Blackburn, it's their first clean sheet of this erratic season, a huge booster for them.
Peterborough have scored a third through George Boyd. Simon Church has put the tin hat on it for Reading. Reading 3, Leicester 0. Only one Premier League game hadn't got a goal in it. Not anymore. Who's got the late winner at Villa Park? Andrew James.
Oh, Lloyd George was Prime Minister last time Villa failed to win after 7 games, Mark, back in 1921. But that's over because Andreas Weimann has got the goal for Aston Villa at the Holt End that surely in the final minute of stoppage time will mean that Alex McLeish has at last got that home victory that Villa had been craving. Weimann closing in on goal after Gardner's first effort was only parried by Sforza. And Fulham, who'd looked comfortable throughout, appear to have lost this game in the last minute of stoppage time. Still playing, but Villa 1, Fulham 0.
Torquay have got a late equaliser against Bristol Rovers. Rene Howe with that goal. Torquay 2, Bristol Rovers 2. He virtually sat on the ball, did Wyman, as he put that ball in.
Well, I think it's bad goalkeeping. The shots come from Gardner. It's straight at Swartz. He's just parried it straight down. Then it's a good save from Weimann's following up. You know, he's nearly sat in it, scooped it in. But for me, Swartz has got to parry it wide.
We always wonder why the keepers, when their ball comes straight at them, they end up punching it or parrying it or using the wrists. And that's an occasion where you know why they do it. I mean, it is a huge win. That is, huge relief, because we're looking at Blackburn saying they might just rein Villa in here, you know, and you've got to follow in every shot. He was onside as well, Wyman. Is he Austrian?
Yeah.
Huge win for Villa.
Huge win. Huge win. Puts them 8 clear of Blackburn again. They've actually gone above Swansea this evening. Swansea, of course, don't play until tomorrow against Manchester City. From Villa Park, we go to the Stadium of Light. 3 Premier League defeats on the spin for Liverpool. This one at Sunderland was watched by Steve Sutton.
Yes, Sunderland 1, Liverpool 0. The goal just coming before the hour. It was a comedy of errors. Fraser Campbell taking on Skirtle on the edge of the box. Got a shot away. Rayner diving at full stretch. Didn't get a touch. It hit the post. Rebounded out. Hit Rayner on the back of the head. The keeper didn't know where it was. Bentner did. He was first to react, and he pushed the ball over the net. A disjointed, almost desperate at times display from Liverpool. They did stage a cavalry charge right at the end, and in the dying minutes John O'Shea had to produce an outstanding tackle to halt Suarez's progress in the penalty area, and then right at the very death Stephen Gerrard, a second half substitute, straining every sinew to get a cross in, and Dirk Kuyt only just failing to get a decent touch on the ball. The 3rd successive league defeat for Liverpool. That hasn't happened for 9 years. Sunderland 1, Liverpool 0.
And next we go.
Kept on coming forward. They used all their substitutes, but Chelsea were not to be denied. But Napoli surely on Wednesday night will be a very, very different proposition.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Southampton still on course to make the Premier League, though. Another win for them this afternoon. Tony Husband.
Yes, in the end, pretty comfortable for Southampton. It wasn't a classic display from a side known for flowing football, but it was more than enough to beat a Barnsley side who lacked the belief to cause an upset. Adam Lallana scoring a goal in each half. Ricky Lambert and Tadanari Lee with the assists. Keith Hill was ill, the Barnsley boss. He missed this game. In the end, a pretty forgettable display from his side. Memorable for Southampton, mainly due to the news coming through from Upton Park.
Yeah, and let's confirm that news from Upton Park with Mark Webber.
Yeah, West Ham United won, Doncaster Rovers won. The bogeyman of the basement teams hangs eerily around Upton Park again. 1-0 up and looking like it could be more. West Ham were not only reeled in like a prize fish as the game progressed, Taunton-chief El Hadjdiouf cooked them like a kipper. He got so much possession he had the chance to test Rob Green a few times. It was James Coppinger, of course, who got the ball on the left post to knock it in to equalise after having a few goes himself at Rob Green. The Panto boos earlier on were being aimed at El Hadjdiouf. At the end of the game, the boos were being aimed at the West Ham players. West Ham United won, Doncaster Rovers won.
Late win for Crewe at Gillingham. They were 3-1 up. Gillingham got it back to 3-0, but Crewe have won 4-3. They're back to the Championship. Reading are now level on points with West Ham after another win, this time against Leicester. Mark Bishop.
Yeah, they certainly are, Mark. Final score here at the Medeski in front of a crowd of nearly 22,000. Reading 3, Leicester City 1. Comprehensive victory for Brian McDermott's side, who can do no wrong as they register their 8th successive league win. Leicester on the ropes for the majority of this match after Mikael Ledgerwood said to the penalty area rocket, making it 100 home league goals for Reading under Brian McDermott's management. Morgan and St Ledger both had to clear off the line. Schmeichel make a wonderful save again to tip over Ledgerwood's rocket over the crossbar. 34-year-old Jason Roberts sweeping home Noel Hunt's cross deep on the right. Leicester all over the place. Reading made it 3. Substitute Simon Church headed home. And in injury time, a consolation for Leicester, Neil Dans. But a good win for Reading. They march on 3-1 at the Medeski.
Padraig Eamons, 7th of the season, means Accrington have got a late equaliser at Southend, finished 2-2 there, and Gus Poyet is a happy man at the Amex Stadium this evening. Jackie Oatley.
He is, because it's finished Brighton 2, Portsmouth 0, and all the plaudits will go to the former Spain international Vicente. He completely changed the game after coming off the bench in the second half. He scored both the goals and was deservedly named man of the match, even though he only played for half an hour. Well, Brighton had huffed and puffed until he came on. He won the free kick, took it himself and drilled the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. Then late in the game, deep into added time, woeful Pompey defending allowed Loire to break into the box. He cut the ball back for Vicente to sweep the ball low into the bottom right-hand corner. It means that Brighton are back into the top 6. Portsmouth rock bottom. Brighton 2, Portsmouth 0.
That's just a consolation for Aldershot through their top scorer Danny Hilton. Northampton have won that game 3-1 against Dean Holdsworth's side. If Portsmouth are rock bottom of the Championship, Nottingham Forest just starting to pull away from the relegation zone. Naz Prenji.
They certainly are, Mark. Nottingham Forest 3, Millwall 1. An important win for the home side at the wrong end of the table. They owe this victory to veteran winger Andy Reid. He supplied the ammunition for 2 goals and scored a screamer himself. 2 right-wing crosses then from Reid, converted first by Gareth McCleary and secondly by Danny Higginbottom. Millwall then responded through Darius Henderson, a close-range header in the second period. Then Reid took centre stage, a 30-yard thunderbolt which Ford could do nothing about in the Millwall goal. James Henry hit the same post twice in the first half for the visitors. It's finished here, Nottingham Forest 3, Millwall 1.
Big win for Peterborough as well as they tried to pull away from the relegation zone. They've beaten Blackpool. Steve May.
Yes, Darren Ferguson kept his players in the changing room for an hour after Tuesday's defeat against Millwall. It obviously worked. They've won here by 3-1. Tyrone Barnett involved in the first 2 goals. George Boyd got the third, a terrific left-foot strike and quite deserved for him and for Peterborough. His 6th of the season. It actually means that this game is the 900th league win for Peterborough. I think that'll certainly please their director of football, Barry Fry, because he was probably around for the first one. It finished Peterborough 3, Blackpool 1.
And into League 2, where the leaders got the better of their local opposition this afternoon. Hamish Marshall.
Yeah, Swindon 1, Cheltenham 0. Paolo Di Canio has been parading on the pitch with a red and white Swindon scarf as his side cleared a major hurdle on their route to promotion. Paul Benson's 5th goal in 5 games settled this in the first half. It came just 5 minutes after Swindon keeper Wes Foderingham saved a penalty from Darryl Duffy. They weren't at their best, but it's now 12 wins and 13 for Swindon.
Into League 1, Charlton obviously lost at Notts County. We've told you about that. Let's find out how second place Sheffield United did at Brentford. Steve Lee.
Brentford 0, Sheffield United 2. Two clinical strikes from Chet Evans, his 24th and 25th goals in all competitions this season. The difference between the sides, his first with United's opening foray, his second after the Brentford keeper Simon Moore disastrously misdirected his goal kick straight to him. Danny Wilson now a much happier manager after 3 defeats in 4 prior to this match. 3 valuable points for the Blades. Brentford 0, Sheffield United 2.
And 3 valuable points for their City rivals as well. Damien Johnson.
Game set and match to Sheffield Wednesday inside 10 minutes with Bournemouth barely off the coach. Danny Bart poked home the opener. Miles Addison got the final touch for an own goal that doubled the lead. Michael Antonio drilled the third and pick of the goals. Both teams hit the woodwork in that first half, fewer chances after the interval, although Bournemouth were wasteful in front of goal throughout. It's 5 straight defeats for them that ends their slim hopes of the playoffs. Wednesday still dreaming of automatic promotion.
Thank you very much, Damien. So just a quick reminder that Final Score is now on the BBC HD channel from 2:30 every Saturday, as well as the red button and the BBC Sport website. No excuse not to watch us. Let's get the full classified results now with Mike West.
And starting with the Barclays Premier League, Aston Villa 1, Fulham 0. Bolton Wanderers 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Chelsea 1, Stoke City 0. The match between Everton and Tottenham Hotspur is an evening kick-off at 5:30. Sunderland 1, Liverpool 0. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Blackburn Rovers 2. In the Empire Championship, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Portsmouth 0. Bristol City against Cardiff City is an evening kick-off at 5:20. Burnley 1, Crystal Palace 1. Coventry City 1, Birmingham City 1. Derby County 1, Watford 2. Hull City 2, Ipswich Town 2. Nottingham Forest 3, Millwall 1. Peterborough United 3, Blackpool 1. Reading 3, Leicester City 1. Southampton 2, Barnsley 0. And West Ham United 1, Doncaster Rovers 1. In the Empire League 1, Brentford 0, Sheffield United 2. Carlisle United 4, Bury 1. Charlton Athletic 2, Notts County 4. Huddersfield Town 2, Rochdale 2. Milton Keynes Dons 3, Exeter City 0. Oldham Athletic 1, Yeovil Town 2. Preston North End 0, Scunthorpe United 0. Sheffield Wednesday 3, AFC Bournemouth 0. Stevenage 2, Chesterfield 2. Tranmere Rovers 2, Leyton Orient 0. Walsall 0, Hartlepool United 0. And Wycombe Wanderers 0, Colchester United 0. On to the Empire League 2, AFC Wimbledon 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Bradford City 2, Oxford United 1. Gillingham 3, Crewe Alexandra 4. Macclesfield Town 2, Crawley Town 2. Morecambe 0, Hereford United 1. Northampton Town 3, Aldershot Town 1. Port Vale 1, Barnet 2. Rotherham United 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. Shrewsbury Town 1, Burton Albion 0. Southend United 2, Accrington Stanley 2. Swindon Town 1, Cheltenham Town 0. And Torquay United 2, Bristol Rovers 2. In the FA Carlsberg Trophy semi-final first leg matches, Newport County 3, Wealdstone 1. And York City 1, Luton Town 0. The Blue Square Bet Premier, AFC Telford United 0, Southport 1. Braintree Town 3, Gateshead 1. Grimsby Town 2, Forest Green Rovers 1. Hayes and Yeading United 1, Kettering Town 0. Lincoln City 0, Alfreton Town 1. Stockport County 0, Cambridge United 1. Tamworth 0, Mansfield Town 1. And Wrexham 2, Barrow 0. Into Scotland and the Scottish Cup 6th round, Ayr United 0, Hibernian 2, and Hearts 2, St Mirren 2. Just one match today in the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, which finished Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1, Kilmarnock 1. The Iron Brew Scottish Division 1, Falkirk 1, Partick Thistle 1. Greenock Morton 1, Livingston 3. Hamilton Academical 0, Ross County 2, and Queen of the South 1, Wraith Rovers 0. The Scottish Division 2, Albion Rovers 0, Airdrie United 1. Arbroath 2, Dumbarton 0. East Fife 0, Cowdenbeath 1. Forfar Athletic 4, Brechin City 1. And Stenhouse Muir 4, Stirling Albion 0. The Scottish Division 3, Alloa Athletic 5, East Stirlingshire 1. Annan Athletic 1, Stranraer 3. Elgin City 1, Peterhead 2. And Montrose 1, Berwick Rangers 1. The Corbett Sports Welsh Premier, Airbus UK Broughton 1, Afant Lido 1. The game between Bangor City and the New Saints is an evening kick-off at 5:15. And Newtown 1, Aberystwyth Town 1. Finally, the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 2, Lisbon Distillery 2. Coleraine 1, Crusaders 0. The match between Donegal Celtic and Dungannon Swifts was postponed. Glenavon 1, Glentoran 0. Linfield 4, Carrick 1. And Portadown 3, Cliftonville 3.
Let's have a look at the tables then. The tussle for the title resumes tomorrow when the two Manchester clubs have synchronised kickoffs. Chelsea, the only top six side to have played so far this weekend, their victory moves them level on points with Arsenal. Wigan now know that a win at Norwich tomorrow would take them out of the relegation zone. Wolves and QPR slide deeper into trouble after losing to fellow strugglers Blackburn and Bolton respectively. Leaders Southampton are 3 points clear following their win against Barnsley in the Championship and West Ham's draw with Doncaster. Third place Reading beat Leicester. They're now level on points with Sam Allardyce's side. Fourth place Middlesbrough play Leeds tomorrow lunchtime, a game you'll be able to see live on BBC One. Brighton are fifth after beating Portsmouth. Birmingham's draw at the Rico earlier keeps them in a playoff spot. And Portsmouth are 8 points adrift of safety at the bottom after their defeat, with Doncaster and Coventry 4 points better off following draws today. Nottingham Forest 5 clear of trouble after beating Millwall. Bristol City face Cardiff in the tea time game. In League One, Charlton suffered their second home defeat of the season, going down 4-2 to Notts County, but their 10-point lead is obviously still a healthy one. Sheffield United cut the gap by beating Brentford. They remain just ahead of Sheffield Wednesday. Huddersfield lost ground after drawing today against Rochdale, who were 6 points adrift of safety at the bottom. Chesterfield remained second bottom after failing to hold on to a 2-goal lead at Stevenage. Swindon extended their lead at the top of League Two by beating Cheltenham to claim a 10th home win in a row. That result means Cheltenham slip out of the top three. They've been overtaken by both Shrewsbury and Southend. Dagenham and Redbridge remain bottom after losing at Wimbledon. Plymouth now join them in the relegation zone after defeat at Rotherham. Northampton out of the relegation zone thanks to a win over Aldershot. In the Blue Square Bet Premier, Fleetwood's victory last night has been matched by nearest challengers Wrexham this afternoon. Playoff contenders Mansfield and Southport both won away. At the bottom, Bath and Darlington weren't in action, but there was a significant result at the bottom with Hayes and Yedding beating Kettering to put distance between them. And just one game in the SPL. It was a 1-1 draw between Inverness and Kilmarnock. The result lifts Killy up to 7th in the table. Inverness remain 10th. Let's get the headlines from the Premier League today. Junior gets top marks with a goal in each half as Blackburn move 3 clear of the relegation zone. Wolves are now second bottom after a 7th successive failure to win at Molineux. Ivan Klaas live in the Nicholas Bentner scores the winner for Sunderland and is then stretchered off as Liverpool suffer a third straight Premier League defeat for the first time since 2003. And the substitute, Andreas Wiemann, puts his head, body and finally his right foot on the line to bundle home a stoppage time winner for Aston Villa. It's their first home victory for 4 months. You can see Weimann's goal and all the others on Match of the Day tonight at 10:30. Let's get some reaction for you straight away, shall we? Steve Keane, after Blackburn's 2-0 win over Wolves, has been talking to Ivan Gaskell.
Steve, well done. It goes without saying that was a huge result for you and of course a clean sheet.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We've been working very hard, on the shape of the team when we don't have the ball. And I thought, as well as the goalkeeper in the back four, I thought the midfield and then from the front as well today, Junior Hoylett and Yakubu never really gave Wolves two central defenders time to pick their head up and play any quality balls in. So I think our overall performance defensively was excellent.
It's good to see you with a smile on your face.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a good ground for us. We cast our mind back to the last game of the season last year and, I played Junior Hoylett as well up front with Jason Roberts and we were 3-0 up at half-time, so this has been a really good ground for us and I'm delighted for the travelling fans. We brought 1,400 here today and I thought they were magnificent and they saw a great display from our side.
And it was so well publicised what a tough time you were given for a period during this season, and is that well behind you now? Have you got through that? You had your tin hat on and you seem a little bit more at ease with things.
Yeah, well I think for everybody involved it's the results are coming. We've been some tough away grounds. We've managed to pick up before today 5 points out of the last 5 away games, then we get 3 today. At home we've been excellent. I think we should have probably picked up a few more points of late, but the fans have been right behind us and I'm delighted for them because the ones that travelled here today and the atmosphere inside Ewood now at home games is fantastic. So let's put all that stuff that happened before behind everybody and let's all move on together.
Steve Keane, let's talk to Motti, who was there for Match of the Day, commentating on this one. Seemed that was a deserved win for Blackburn, Motti.
Yes, it was. I can only endorse what Steve Keane said. His team played extremely well. He does seem to have managed to get through that period when he had his tin hat on. The match winner was obviously Hoylett with his 2 goals. Basically, Mark, Blackburn were more incisive than Wolves today. When they had the ball, they looked more dangerous. Wolves now obviously looking a little bit shaky, 6 defeats in 7 at home. Nothing wrong with their commitment. They're playing for Terry Connor all right, but they couldn't seem to penetrate enough to really work the goalkeeper Paul Robinson, not until the last 5 or so minutes when they threw everything in, but it's changed the dynamic down at the bottom, that's for sure.
Well, it has, hasn't it? It's going to give Blackburn fans quite a lot of hope, whereas those Wolves fans who were despondent when they arrived at Molineux and a lot of them were protesting will just feel even worse this evening. I mean, there's a lack of hope around the place.
Well, it does seem that way a little bit, although I thought the fans stuck around and didn't really give the home team too much grief. I think there's going to be so much up and down football still to be played between these bottom 5 clubs. It's obviously been a very, very good day for Blackburn and Bolton, hasn't it? They've really given themselves more than a fighting chance of getting out of it. It's not been a good day for Queen's Park Rangers or Wolves. We shan't know about Wigan until tomorrow. But certainly I wouldn't take anything away from Blackburn. It's the best I've seen them play for some time, and Steve Keane got a performance out of every one of his players. I have to say too, by the way, Mark, they've got twins playing now on the left-hand side. Martin and Marcus Olsen played in the whole game today down that left, and both of them did pretty well.
Just say Olsen, and then you'll be all right, Motti. Thank you very much for that. Cheers, Motti.
They win.
I'm moving on, Motti. I'm moving on. We've got a lot to fit. Robbie, I look at the stats for Blackburn, OK? They've scored more goals than anybody else in the division, bar the top 5.
6, yeah. I thought the game would end 0-0 with 8 starting, but Brighty alluded to before the game that Blackburn do score a lot of goals. And in Junior Hoylett today, they had by far and away the best player on the pitch. He was dynamic. He was, as Motti said, they were elusive on the attack. They were fantastic. And, from Paul Robinson, who wasn't really tested, the back four, the midfield, but looking at Wolves, they haven't got a leader off the field for me or on the field. They looked totally disjointed. They looked all over the place. Midfielders doing wrong things. You know, the forwards not hitting the target. They looked all over the place.
And the other thing from a Blackburn point of view is the flip of them scoring 40 goals. They've conceded 60, which is the worst in the division. But at least they got the clean sheet today.
To stay up, you've got to score goals. And the first clean sheet, I think the last team in all 4 divisions, aren't they, to keep a clean sheet. But it doesn't matter. You come good when it counts. And we know now, this is it now. This is the run-in. This is the key moment. And I tell you, chappers, QPR, Wolves and Wigan, as the table stands, that might be as it ends as well.
Yeah.
Although, as much said, there could be some more twists and turns.
There could be twists and turns. But you look at how Wolves played today, they were very, very poor.
Flat.
QPR a bit unlucky today, but they've got a tough run-in. And Wigan are just diabolical, in my opinion.
No more to be said. Let's get some reaction from Chelsea's win over Stoke, shall we? They won by 1-0. Didier Drogba got the goal. He's 100th in the Premier League. Here are his thoughts.
Didier, congratulations. That looked like a tough 3 points to win. Are you pleased and relieved?
Yeah, it was a very difficult game, and I think it's good to have 2 consecutive wins after the one in the cup game. And to play Stoke is always difficult. You know, they're strong and tactically they have a good shape. So it was very difficult. And at the moment we focus on 3 points and wins. So I think it's a good one for us.
Tell us about the goal. It was a lovely pass from Juan Mata.
Yeah, a lovely pass, knowing that their defense is really high. You know, they're really tall. So I think that was the best thing to do. And he's got this vision, and that's why we bought him, because he can change the games with his pass and with his goals. So you could see his free kick. He's very good, and I'm happy that we scored that goal.
There's Didier Drogba. We're now going to peer into the gloom at Stamford Bridge and talk to Jonathan Pearce. It was a deserved 3 points, wasn't it? Made easier by probably one of the most obvious red cards of the season, Jonathan.
Yes, it was. Apologies about the darkness here at Stamford Bridge, but many people say I look better in the dark anyway. But it was a little bit of a rush of blood to the head for Stoke City's Ricardo Fuller that cost them so dearly here. You know, they started off in disciplined fashion, and then as Ivanovic stretched in to challenge him on about 25 minutes, the follow-through of Ivanovic's tackle did perhaps catch Fuller. Maybe there was some intent in there, maybe. But Ricardo Fuller then stamped down on the Chelsea fullback in clear view of everyone. It had to be a red card. And then they've had to play for 65 minutes down to 10 men. Eventually the breakthrough came. Lovely ball through by Juan Mata, who made a real difference when he was brought on midway through the first half. Tactical change by Roberto Di Matteo, now has 2 wins in 2. And he slid the ball through and Drogba rounded the goalkeeper. Much more like the old Didier Drogba today, really seemed up for it.
Jonathan, thank you very much. From the gloom at Stamford Bridge to that jumper and that spray tan.
Jumper on.
It'd have lit up the whole of the ground if you'd have been there, Brighton. There isn't a great deal we can really judge from that game, is there? You know, he kind of mixed and matched his side a bit because of the Champions League game coming up with Napoli this week, and Stoke will lambs to the slaughter for as soon as.
Well, I think the turning point in the game was when the ridiculous red card for Fuller. It was ludicrous, and then he's introduced Mata, taking Molineux off for tactical, and it was Mata's pass and Mata's movement, his clever thinking. That's what Torres wants, a pass like that, off.
Did I just say that to you?
Yeah, of somebody like Mata. I've nicked Brighty's line there. Thanks, Brighty. But he does. That's why you can see why the old boss bought him, to link to Torres. It's a reverse pass. And Drogba did look like his old self today.
And one of Andre Villas-Boas's problem was trying to fit Juan Mata into a position whereby he would create the balls.
I've seen him play just off the front striker.
Well, that's where he should be playing.
That's where he should be playing. But the way that Chelsea moved the ball is very slow and methodical, and what you need to do, I think there was a higher tempo to the game today, but you're playing against Stoke, it's very difficult, but the fullbacks got forward. Ivanovic was forward, he had 2 or 3 efforts, should have scored with a header, had a chest and volley but hit the bar, so they're getting their fullbacks forward and they're having movement. But with Mata, you have to, he's the person who releases the fullback who's overlapping, releases the midfield player who's going through, Frank Lampard. And today, as Robbie said, some of the passing was fantastic.
The headlines tomorrow will probably all be about the goal that never was at the Reebok, as Clint Hill's header clearly over the line, but the officials didn't give it, and QPR went on to lose 2-1 to Bolton. Afterwards, all the people involved spoke to Steve Wilson.
we're an honest bunch, and we were asked a question, we answer it openly and honestly. That's the way we've always been, and the players are the same. But out with that, I thought we showed real quality in the 2 goals we scored today. Of course, loads of contentious issues today. I mean, I think Queen's Park Rangers have scored a good goal in the shape of Clint Hill, although credit to Adam Bogdan for actually managed to get it out, although it looked as if it was well over the line. And nobody's a bigger advocate of goal line technology than myself, because we've seen what happened to England in the World Cup. So there's no doubt we got a big break there.
The key moment from my point of view was the corner, where clearly the ball was over the line. The linesman is there to see that. That's what his job is. He's supposed to obviously make the right decision in those circumstances. If the ball's over the line, then you have to give a goal.
You know, I tried to save the ball. The referee didn't whistle. For us, obviously, it was a good decision. But it's hard to make a decision because it's so quickly happening. You know, we always knew if we score the first goal, we have a good chance to win the game. And it was a crucial moment, of course.
Clint, you've waited a long time to play in the Premier League, and you know they say the Premier League has the best of everything. You might argue with that tonight.
Yeah, waited a long time to get here. Probably not enjoying it as much as now, to be honest with you. We've lost a few games. We're not in the best of positions. Decisions ain't going for us at the moment as well. We need that little bit of luck, and hopefully it'll start changing. But we've got some big games coming up now. Got the top 6. So we're going to have to do it the hard way.
You were practically off on a lap of honour. I mean, you and your teammates knew it was in.
Yeah, I was off. First goal in the Premier League. Been robbed off me, but I don't know. I mean, the referees need help, of course they do, but it's clearly 2 or 3 yards over the line. I mean, I don't know what kind of position the officials were in, but yeah, we feel really hard done by today.
At the end, how would you describe the QPR players' reaction? I mean, they look massively deflated. I mean, you see Clint Hill there.
You know, coming off at half-time, he went, I don't believe it. I saw his lips move. He was touching his head, but there was about 4 or 5 players in the box when he arrived. You'll appeal for a throw in a corner, whatever. You know, they all appealed. They jumped up in the air. And when we didn't give it, because first of all, I had to say, I couldn't see it. And then on the slow-motion replay, it's well over. Yeah. They didn't stop talking to the referee and the assistant manager, linesman.
I've got to say, I've got to put my teeth in before I pronounce the linesman's name. Bob Pollock.
Yes.
You know,
well done, you.
It was the linesman. It's a foot in. It's that far over the line, and he's got to see. As Mark Hughes alluded to, everybody FA have come out and said we need goal line technology. But while there's not, that's the linesman's job. It was a corner, so he should be standing in line with the putt, and he should surely see that goes in. QPR had done, although saying that, Cissé's goal could have been slightly offside, so things even themselves up. But QPR, for me,
at that time,
crucial point.
On top.
They were on top there. They had plenty of chances in the second half
as
well.
Which they didn't take. And we all said, right, Cissé and Bobby Zamora, great signings to fire them through. It was a defender like Clint Hill who was looking for his first goal. But that then changes the game, as in when they played Wolves at home and they were winning 1-0. Cissé was sent off. That changed the game. So these are the little things that, I tell you, QPR
massive trouble. Massive trouble. Hard running.
And whilst we all breathe a sigh of relief that Robbie has his teeth in, let's get the best of the action from Brighton against Portsmouth in the Championship this afternoon. John Rhodes is your commentator.
Brigut's ball puts Greer under a little bit of pressure. Brezovan. Not quite sure that he knew that Futax was coming up. Here's Allen. Chance for Portsmouth and just over. A mess that was all of Brighton's own creation. Just a fraction too high. Brigut. Plenty of Brighton heads forward. Flag stays down and it's across the face of goal. It struck the post on the way and it's out for a corner kick. And it was smacked against the post by Joe Mattock. It's Vicente! It'll be a yellow card for the Spaniard, but he won't care one iota about that. The free kick, eluding everybody, beyond the grasp of Ashdown, and Brighton make the breakthrough late on at the Amex. Inviting the challenge from Ben Haï. Comes off Luar, play on, says the referee. Three in the middle, waiting for the fullback. Vicente! It's 2-0, and the points are Brighton's. Luar goes to ground here. Everybody seemed to stop. Portsmouth wanted a handball, it didn't come. And Luar's little pullback tucked away in style. Brighton 2, Portsmouth 0.
More from that game and every goal from the Football League with Manish from 11:40 tonight. That's straight after Match of the Day. And tomorrow there's live Championship football on BBC One. I'll be at the Riverside for Middlesbrough against Leeds. And following that at 2:30, it's France against England in the Six Nations. There is no reason to get off your sofa tomorrow afternoon. And then there's United and City plus West Brom, Swansea, Norwich and Wigan on Match of the Day 2 tomorrow night at 10. Lee and Alan, although I'm not sure which Alan, joining Colin in this very studio. Hansen it will be. Big game for Manchester City tomorrow, actually, isn't it, given Swansea's home form?
Yeah, huge game. I think Swansea do very well at home. They pass the ball fantastically well. I played against them last year, and they stick to their principles. They pass. In Sinclair and Dyer, two good wide men. Danny Graham, doing fantastic. But I think it's a tough game for City, and I think they'll struggle tomorrow. I think Swansea will get a draw.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
No, well, I mean, given Swansea's form this season and their possession stats, I mean...
Brendan Rodgers, I love the way that they play. I think everybody admires them. I think they're one of them teams that have earned the respect of everyone in the Premier League, the way they go about it. And, it just shows you that you can do it if you try. But I just think Man City's will to win, the need to win, the squad, the depths have on the bench... I just think that it's their turn.
It's not a foregone conclusion for Manchester United either, given the away form of West Brom.
No, they'll beat West Brom.
All right,
Simple.
OK. Simple?
Yeah.
Right. Even after how they performed the other night?
Yeah, because I think that's United hardly ever lose 2 on the run, and I think they'll have a rocket, and I think they'll come back and they'll beat West Brom. West Brom are doing exceptionally well under Roy Hodgson, but I think Old Trafford, if this gives the Hawthorns, might be a different scenario. But I think,
but I tell you, Sav, the way that they set up under Roy defensively,
United will win,
nice and tight. But anyone who's old enough will remember there's been some classic games of West Brom and Man United over the years.
And Norwich will beat Wigan.
OK, thanks. Some of us aren't old enough though, Brighty, to remember those. You can have your say on 6:06 tonight. We'll be on after the rugby, Ireland against Scotland. Can't remember who's on it with me. Then that's it from us. Still loads more reaction to come. Press the red button if you want that. And we'll see you on the HD channel from 2:30 next Saturday. Bye-bye.